Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to the road to Grandmaster. It's been a couple of years since I did a video like this. Basically what the structure is, this is from way back when. This is OG Nubkeks. I'm going to go in, we're going to double speed watch the draft. I'm going to give you guys some commentary, some insights on it, and then we're going to go into the game as well. This is from Storm League, a game I played, and I'm going to go back and commentate on it after the game. And basically break down some of the decisions and whatnot. And the idea is essentially twofold. Number one being that if I'm not commentating live, I can dedicate more attention to playing. And if I'm not playing, I can also dedicate more attention to commentating. So yeah, there you go. In terms of bans, nothing too surprising. An Uberak is obviously an incredibly good tank. The Garrosh ban, again, also another very good tank. The Zeratul, in the hands of a skilled player, Zeratul is terrifying, and especially if we're going to pick Ana. You can see there kind of me hovering the Ana pick. Ana is another like top tier character. You can see I'm also investigating my teammates' choices to see what sort of heroes that they're good at, to know what I'm going to pick with as a flex player myself, so seeing what other flex buddies will do. Now, our teammate did switch off Alarak after the enemy team chose Alarak and picked Illidan. Very early on in the draft. The enemy team still has 3 heroes left to pick. We only have 1 ban. So this becomes, in my opinion, rather awkward with the Illidan. There's a lot of strong counter picks. There's Arthas, there's Cassia. They could even take Lily as a healer. There's a whole bunch of different things that they can do. The Lucio ban, in my opinion, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense either. At least a lot of strong stuff open for the enemy team that they would probably rather take instead. They lock in the Arthas to counter the Illidan, gives them a strong solo lane, basically makes the Illidan solo lane unwinnable. The enemy takes Li Ming, which I was thinking of playing. Li Ming, similar to with the Ana nano boost, of course. To be fair, Li Ming would struggle a bit against Arthas. The ghouls tend to block skill shots, so it becomes a little awkward. I'm going to go with Kael'Thas instead. Want something that's strong with the nano boost. Kael'Thas also, you know, the Flame Strike build, or just Flame Strike gets lots of value against clumped targets, and they have 3 melee with the Diablo, Arthas, and Alarax. And Li Ming tends to go quite short range, and the enemy finishes off their draft with the Malfurion. So you can see the Lucio ban. I mean, if the enemy team had Lucio, would this be any worse? I don't think so. Compared to imagine removing Arthas, the Malfurion is extremely strong too. Got the silence against the Illidan and whatnot. So yeah, there you go. In my opinion, a couple of mistakes in the draft, but what can you do? Okay, and we're back to normal speed. I gotta be honest, maybe double speed was too fast for the draft. Let me know. Maybe you could do it at like 50% increased speed next time. I'm gonna blast through at like still a good pace, but a more reasonable pace. But yes, we're in the game here, starting off at level 1, and you can see that our comp's a little bit weird, right? Typically on Dragonshire, we're looking for one nice solo lane up top, and then we can rotate mid to bot. You could, I suppose, alternatively do a solo lane bot and rotate mid to top. Sorry, instead of solo lane top and rotate mid bot. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, I guess. Obviously, Illidan into Arthas is no good for anyone, but there's plenty of Merc caps on this map for you to take that are very powerful, and they're all obviously very safe to take as well because they're very much in your territory. There's even the neutral camp that we could pressure with the Illidan as well, which could be pretty nice. So I'm suggesting we send the Tychus top against the Arthas, which I think should be a relatively reasonable lane. And yeah, in terms of the Kael'Thas stuff, I've obviously taken the mana talent at level 1. The extra mana is useful because you will burn through it relatively reasonably, and most importantly, it gives us a nice shield, which will give us some important protection. The enemy team has quite a bit of pressure against me. Alarak combos, Li Ming dives, Diablo dives, that sort of thing. I think the extra layer of defense is going to be very important. It usually is when you're playing Kael'Thas. It's a good idea to take it. In the early game as well, in terms of empowering our trait, I mean, honestly, you can empower all of his abilities with this trait. I actually think they did a really good job of balancing the hero in that decision. Typically, empowering his stun is pretty useful. It will pierce and hit up to 3 targets, and it will stun them for an extra half a second. So instead of being a 1 second stun, it's a 1.5 second stun. So by the way, you can see there, kind of suspecting that Li Ming is taking the camp, and she is. It could be a nice opportunity to force a fight. Honestly, I would say at this point, considering we have the Illidan and the entire point of the comp, in my opinion, ought to be, taking camps quickly because Illidan excels at it. You can see their rough situation. Li Ming catches me in a good spot, a good angle, so I just walk into the orb to try to mitigate at least some of the damage. And right there, we're able to empower the flame strikes to do good damage. Li Ming, absolutely great decision making on the orbs there. You see, I'm not respecting her enough and get heavily punished for it. Now, Anna will heal me back up, but that's a lot of damage taken. Doesn't matter too much. We're still expecting, like, we're expecting to lose that bottom shrine. We're not expecting to force the fight over it. Why? Because, well, they've taken the siege giants, which we need to deal with. Illidan's taking ours. We're kind of on the back foot, so we don't want to, like, go in and go crazy and take any major risks. You can see this is a good aggressive move. A great route, though, from Malfurion. Basically seals off my access there. Able to get nice damage, though, on those guys over the wall. I think they had vision on me, but kind of forgot. So yeah, we're able to get the nice double stun into Flame Strike. Like, why make the Flame Strike bigger if you can make the stun longer and then hit the Flame Strike anyway? Is often the way. But you can see right there, for example, on Diablo, that's the typical combo. We're hitting him with the stun, hit him with pop the Flame Strike right under it, drop a living bomb on him as well. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're going to empower the Flame Strike, though, especially once we get later on in the game. On level 7, we're going to take Burn Flesh, so if we hit 2 heroes, it does a chunk of max hit point bonus damage. At level... Poor Illidan, that minion doesn't want to let him capture the DK. We're in a great spot from this because Tychus killed Arthas earlier. Like, that was amazing. Like, he actually solo killed him. I mean, okay, right there, Arthas solo killed Tychus back. But what it gave us was a ton of map control, and it gave us the Dragon Knight. So... yeah, I mean, considering that they're kind of 1 for 1 on solo kills, I would say that we are nonetheless still significantly ahead, which is pretty great. Right here, the DK is just beating on the towers, which is usually what you do. It's nowhere near as valuable as it used to be, but it still gives you, obviously, lane control, because the towers are gone, makes the minion pushes significantly better, makes you much more able to dive as well, opens up the fort for the next time we take a DK. And it also gives you chunks of experience whenever you kill a tower. Okay, so right here, I'm going to spam some pings just to make sure my teammates realize Arthas actually came down from the solo lane. So essentially at this point, we want to play it very safe and just let Tychus push up there. So, I mean, maybe Murden was a little sassy about it. I don't know if it bothered him. I wouldn't normally ping so much, but I think that case is warranted. It's like, okay, guys, I'm actually kind of split away from you because I can't risk going into Arthas. Because there's 5 heroes on the bottom of the map. We only have 4 with the Tychus there. Need to be kind of safe and respectful. And we'll just use that opportunity instead to get, you know, good value soaking and stay ahead. I mean, we could do some different stuff. There's different things we can do. But yeah, all right, cool. Blasting on ahead. We have got a nice little lead here. I've gotten pretty aggressive at this point. Luckily, Diablo actually stuns Illidan, I think, by accident. We get good damage on the Diablo, though. He's not going to quite go down. But still, you can see on the whole, that is a good trade for us, going in aggressive there once again. And I was actually kind of surprised that we were making the Illidan work so well at this point. If you look at the enemy team's comp, one disadvantage that they do certainly have is a lack of wave clear, right? Alarak, obviously, the way his trait just fundamentally works, he does extra damage against heroes, but not against minions. And Li Ming, likewise... she's okay, you know, her orb helps a bit with the wave clear, but she's not that good. Unfortunately, right there, Alarak does get away. Murden's just too slow on the Stormbolt. We obviously have plenty of damage to kill him. We can chain stun Stormbolt into my stun and then blow him up with the burst damage. Murden was too slow and gave Alarak the time to port out with his push, so that's a little unlucky. Gonna go tap a well. Murden escapes by the skin of his teeth, which is pretty nice. Illidan is just going absolutely ham here. He's got murder in his eyes, and he does luckily pick up the Li Ming before he gets himself killed. So, on the whole, you know, again, probably fine, considering, like I said, Li Ming is probably the best out of their bad wave clear. It's not too bad. One of the bigger criticisms I have, though, and you probably picked it up from me talking about the siege camp earlier, I want you guys to keep an eye on. Bear in mind, we're already about 6 minutes into the game, just a bit more, and we've level 10 right now. And bearing in mind that we have an Illidan composition, we've taken our siege camp once, and we haven't even seen a whiff. We haven't caught a whiff. We haven't seen a sight of a bruiser camp. As far as we know, bruiser camps don't even exist. Bruiser camps don't even exist. Right here, I thought this was quite funny when I was playing it. We get comboed for free by Alarak right there because we have to answer Anna's question about nano boosting in Illidan. A hero that has a plethora of cooldown reduction and extremely short cooldowns in the first place, plus no mana rather than me. You see the nano boost comes out. This is not a great nano boost. You can see we're halfway through the actual nano boost before I'm able to cast anything. Nonetheless, I'm able to get in. I have to kind of rush in to get it. But yeah, in that situation, I think it's always, you know, bear in mind when you're casting nano boost. Bear in mind, the question you have to ask is my teammate going to actually be capable of doing damage right now? So like right there, the nano boost came in. It was the right idea to use it in the fight, but it was just, you know, a couple of seconds too early, and half the nano boost was spent desperately running into range to try to get value, rather than, you know, waiting until I'm in range and then casting it out for maximum value. You can see like the wave clear here, it's fairly kind of straightforward. You know, we drop the living bomb for free, empowering that with our trait, so it's free. Drop just a regular flame strike, hits most of the wave, and the living bomb explodes, and we're good and we're happy. Okay, just being careful here as Diablo comes around. That's a little bit of a scary flank. Stuff is happening on the back as well. I see that obviously Murden's in quite deep, so I'm going to try to keep him alive. It's a really good flank from the Li Ming. Very scary, so I have to actually retreat there. So that's really good play by her, honestly. Like, she chose her flank really well. She gets a great orb in, and that basically, it's a good nano boost this time, but great play from Li Ming. Turns it around. Now, we've already got 2 kills, hence why I'm being aggressive here. Unfortunately, Murden is the one with the stun, and he's the one that's picked up the DK. So not really able to get a good combo on the Alarak right there. But obviously we got 2 kills, so we actually ended up winning that fight, and it was quite a nice fight for us. And yeah, there we go. DK 2 kills, pretty good, and that's why I was going so aggressive there. You know, you always want to push. You can push pretty aggressively. You know, bearing in mind that the only damage they actually had realistically alive right there is Alarak. I can take the combo, and I can obviously heal it up pretty easily. And bada bing, bada boom, we could potentially get another kill if we have some CC to follow up on the Alarak, but no such luck. Anyway, here we go. We're pushing in. DK smash the fort, which is nice. We're now a level up as well. You know, there's potential that they could gank me there. They're obviously not doing it. They're just defending. But, you know, that was something that, you know, against a higher level team, there's no way I could make that rotation, because they could easily just be like, all right, we'll just kill Kael'Thas. Because, you know, obviously if they kill me, then happy days. Illidan is still dead here. I can't remember how he died. Sorry, I was distracted. Did he die top lane trying to gank Arthas? Or did he die bot lane? I don't remember now. But anyway, he's dead. And Tychus looks like he's about to die as well. Alarak up top with the gank. I mean, like, you can see that the enemy team is pretty safe. That's why they're able to do it, right? Why are they able to gank top with 2? Well, it's because it's a relatively guaranteed kill. And also, crucially, you know, we just had to retreat with the Dragon Knight. We don't have enough people alive. Illidan was dead, so there's really no pressure on the map. There's no real threat, so it gives them the confidence to do it. This is actually pretty good for us, though. This is a good nano boost. You can see right there, that is a fantastic cleanse, though. That's a huge cleanse. Saves the Alarak. So really good play there from the Malfurion. You can see, again, Li Ming just diving in on top of me here. Trying to get some damage out here. Great Stormbolt by Murden. And with the larger Flame Strike, we're able to catch her. Illidan kind of going a little bit deep there, a little bit crazy. A little bit of a story of the game. Going for a cheeky kill on the Alarak. We don't get it, though. Probably would have been better to hit one of the tanks in the front line with the stun to maybe get more damage. But it's okay nonetheless. Tychus is soaking that. At the end of the day, it is a 2-for-1. So we're happy with the outcome, and we're going to use that advantage. I mean, this is a crucial thing. I often see people underusing. It can be one of the most disheartening things in a game, right? When you go in, you get kills, you are ahead, and then suddenly the team just goes super passive and does nothing, and the enemy team actually goes ahead in terms of objectives and whatnot. Unfortunately, I don't have a stun because I just used it to try zone off the Diablo. There was something of a risk there that they might try to force an engagement because they have shorter respawn times. I thought it was unlikely, but it was like the safety gravity lapse by the camp. I mean, Murden hit the stun, though. I think it was Murden hit the stun himself, so he didn't need to worry about it. But meant I didn't have the gravity lapse to punish the Alarak. If I did, there's a good potential that might have been a kill, actually. Now we've got level 16, which is nice. Li Ming caught out of position, but unfortunately the Stormbolt misses as she teleports away. That could have been probably a very easy kill for us with the Dwarf Toss into the Stormbolt. No real rush to hunt that Li Ming down. Very easy to kill her. You can see the enemy team was actually taking the Bruiser camp at the time, so that could have been great for us. But there you go. It is a meta Illidan, so one thing he can't... I mean, it would be potentially great if he could hunt in and stuff like that. Throwing a stun out there. Again, just trying to zone this guy out. See, Illidan has gone in deep. Nano Boost has come out. Just trying to focus the Arthas. Get damage on him where I can. Again, it's a really good flank from Li Ming. So she's doing a ton of damage there. We are going to finish her off with a basic attack, but we're forced out back. Illidan is focused and taken down. So I actually think it's a little bit tricky. I would say that the front line here, they're definitely going too aggressive in terms of their dives. Like, there's been multiple times where Illidan is like metamorphosing. I don't even know if that's the correct verb. But he's you know, diving in super aggressively and using all of his cooldowns to get in on the enemy team. And then he's just like chain silenced by the Malfurion who's got Twilight Dream. So obviously you're not going to be killing the Illidan. You're not going to be killing anything too easily. There's a Twilight Dream. He's getting hit by the combos of the Alarak as well. And he's getting taken out pretty handily. In that situation, they had the Bloodlust was in their eyes. They saw Arthas go low, and they dove too deep while still leaving the enemy team here. Now, this is actually great for us. Unfortunately, I don't think I hit the Diablo with the Flame Strike, but that's a very easy kill. You can see right there, massive overextension from the enemy team. Again, it's maybe a bit of a over-eager nano boost, but unfortunately, Diablo sidesteps, and I miss my stun, which is actually a big misplay for me. That should have been a much easier kill. One difficult thing is that my damage is a little bit limited with Ignite, which is the thing I take at level 16. I think it is overall the better talent. It makes your Flame Strike apply Living Bomb to a target near the middle of it, which just adds up to a ton of damage. It will hit the target closest to the middle, I think, so one enemy hero per cast will get affected by it. But it does mean that in that sort of single target situation, with your Q applying your Living Bomb, you can't apply another one. So it does sort of limit that single target damage a little bit. You could see that in that previous fight, the Living Bomb. I couldn't get it off cooldown because I can't cast it on someone who already has it active. But say Levi is going to obviously annihilate this wave. Very nice. We could take control of the bottom half of the map, which will, you know, we see 3 enemies up top lane. That means we can very easily take their camp. Oh, Li Ming's actually already started it. Yeah, you go for the kind of almost instant stun. It's just like, okay, hey, there's a Li Ming. Let's go for it. If we stun her there's a really good chance we get a free kill, knowing that 3 of the enemy team are up top. We obviously outnumber her hugely, but she's got the teleport very quickly. She knows, she's respectful, and it's all good. The enemy team is clearing that out. Anna is a bit indecisive in terms of where she wants to go on the map. We're going to take the siege camp, which I think is okay. And Muradin is just zoning them out, which is definitely the correct choice here. Gonna come over, try grab the globe. Unfortunately, no one picked it up, so no globe for me to add on to my quest, sadly. What can you do? But at this point, we've got very good control of the bottom half of the map. The enemy team will have to deal with that siege camp. And we obviously have way more wave clear than they do. They very much struggle with it, so pretty nice for us overall. Muradin is zoning these dudes out. Gonna throw in the Flame Strike. There we go. Not too bad. Stun the Alarak. Unfortunately, he manages to pull me backwards before I can stun him, and Diablo dives in as well. He's gonna back out. Unfortunately, Illidan metas into the silence and then dives in to be focused some more. So we're trying to kill Arthas here. Unfortunately, Illidan getting CC'd and killed. So that's definitely an overdive there, unfortunately. And Li Ming with that kill gets resets, and really good play from her. Like, I was so impressed by Li Ming in this game. I thought she did a great job, right? So this guy on the Li Ming, he just said, hang on a second here, let's look at the enemy team's composition. So Illidan is like diving Malfurion like crazy, and obviously he's just getting silenced and wrecked, so I don't really need to worry about Illidan. And then like Tychus is kind of on the back, so I don't need to worry too much about him. Like Kael'Thas is probably the most dangerous one in terms of burst damage and kill pressure. Well, I could just dive the Kael'Thas. I could just focus Kael'Thas and knock him down, deny that the nano boost value, and I know that I'm going to be safe to do so because there's no front line to really lock me down and punish me for follow-up by that squishy backline that I can bully. So I thought he's done a great job, like not like just once or twice, but I think that's at least 3 times, if not 4 times now in this game so far, where he's made really nice plays like that. So it's really good to see. Just, you know, recognizing that our team is, you know, too YOLO in terms of how the front line is playing, and really being able to punish that divide, that split. They're going to come in here. It's a pretty aggressive nano boost again. It's got a short cooldown, obviously, but not as short as it used to be, so I'm not entirely sure about that. It's kind of like a wave clear nano boost, I guess. So it's there. Yeah, I think it's maybe not the best call, but I mean, it kept the keep alive, so I guess it's not the worst. Alright, so yeah, Muradin gets comboed a bit. Illidan metas in and gets killed. Look at the experience, by the way. So yeah, at this point, Illidan is dead. To pretty much the same mistake multiple times in a row, which is rather unlucky. Tychus, unfortunately, now is comboed as well, and Tychus will go down. I'm just trying to harass a bit with this. I think I feed here at this point as well. Can't remember. I'm pretty sure I just feed like a moron pretty soon. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, right there, like, what happened? Okay, so we fought the enemy team off at the keep. That's great. But we've used Nano Boost, so we're down 1 heroic. We're literally about 10 seconds off getting level 20. Muradin goes in. That's okay, but then Illidan metas in. Tychus is going to get focused and destroyed here as well. But yeah, I mean, like, that's just like, it's classic mistake, honestly, right? It's, you know, forcing the fight when you're down a heroic and you're literally just off equalizing talent tiers. And not only forcing the fight, but actually using meta to close the gap rather than simply using dive. And then not having meta and literally just getting CC'd and focused down. Big mistakes. That's a huge flame strike, though. Pretty nice value on that one. Gonna throw in some stuns as well, trying to help out. You can see at this point in the game, I'm trying to mostly empower flame strike for that extra damage. Trying to follow up here. Muradin, though, taken out, unfortunately. At this point, I don't know why I walked back in there. That was really stupid. And that gets me dead. So yeah, that's the point. I remember feeding at that point and going like, what was I actually thinking? You know, it's at that point you get a little bit tilted, right? You get a little bit tilted, and that was a really stupid mistake. I mean, Muradin was already dead. Tychus is on death timer. But certainly with me dying, that basically seals the deal here. We've got 3 people dead. The enemy team is on the core. Illidan is just going to get gangbanged once again, as is the theme of the game. So, yeah. I try not to let yourself get tilted, guys. I think that was very much tilt on my part there. You know, just that frustration. It's like, how many times can Illidan meta inoffensively and then get comboed by all of the CC that he's supposed to avoid with meta and die? And yeah, that frustration got to me, and then did a really stupid thing. Started trying to make these crazy god plays and got killed, and that death cemented the loss where it might not have happened otherwise. So lesson to be learned there for everyone. But yeah, also I think an example of how not to play Illidan as well. You know, if you're playing Illidan, take more Merc camps, use meta defensively and intelligently, even as Bolt of the Storm. Like, oh boy. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed and maybe learned a couple of things in this video and spotted some extra things yourself as well. I'll see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.